It's past 9 PM already, isn't it? I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya. These things take time, I'd say probably not. The police are professionals. They'll find her, don't you worry. And if we can win a not guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay. You're right. Just so long as they don't blame us for talking to the policia. So, the real person who killed Mr. Corrida was that assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right? And the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired Mr. the Killer to begin with? Who's his client? You mean who asked for the murder? That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever this client is, they're still a killer. Their client. Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews? I wonder. But she was the client. Then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse? But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then... No, it can't be. Matt Ongard himself. If Mr. Ongard really did hire the assassin, then he's not innocent at all. Far from it, he would be guilty of the crime. But it can't be Mr. Ongard, right? I mean, when we first talked with him... Mr. Ongard, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Corrida? Alright, just so we're clear, dude. I didn't kill anyone, and that includes Juan Corrida, okay? No Cyclops. Actually, that reminds me. Did you remember something, Mr. Nick? Something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting. Something interesting? What's this interesting thing? Oh, you didn't hear it. Juan bet everything on the Jam and Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. Looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Mr. Ongard's secret? What is it? I don't know yet. But for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Corrida was going to reveal this secret. That means... Mr. Ongard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Corrida silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. Ongard. There's no way around it now. Well, that's not great. So our client is in fact guilty. Which we were already kinda... ing towards. It's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? It's past 9. 9 whole night. 9 at night. Yeah. But we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of the secret Mr. Corrida held about Mr. Ongard. And Miss Andrews' real intentions. These two things I need to know tonight. But aren't visiting hours over at the detention center? We'll think of something, don't you worry. I'm an attorney. It works every time, right? Hey, old bag. Hey, wait. What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. Just like now, I was handed a strange device for who knows what reason. And I was told to use it to search the whole hotel. That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made. I don't know, and frankly I don't care, but the request came from Edgy Poo, so... Edgeworth? Oh, and he said... If you feel angry, direct your anger at the unsophisticated lawyer. So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger toward you. Gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal. Man, dude, my guy. Bug Sweeper. This is absolutely top secret, so you better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents. Interesting. I'm sure it was, you know, to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? It means, well, you know the gossip that's been going around about my dear Juan. Oh, that thing about Miss Andrews. But I'm sure she must have had some reason for getting close to Mr. Corrida. I'll let you in on another secret, youngin'. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious, puffy-haired photographer girl, the nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself, as if I wouldn't want to see it for myself too. Ugh. The alien admitted her true intentions. I don't know what you're thinking, but I can bet that it's nothing good. I didn't say anything. People read your thoughts all the time, right? You need to stop thinking. Not that it would change much. Juan and Adrian. So you want to know about Juan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, they were something of a refreshing pair, those two. Oh? I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager. Who are you talking about? You don't know? That manager woman Juan had. It's a shame she killed herself, though. Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste. Miss Andrews' mentor, right? Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know. Married? You mean to Mr. Corrida? Really? You young kids today don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement. 3 days after their marriage announcement? What the? Her suicide. Why would Miss Impax want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan. What? But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly cancelled their marriage. Is that true? It was in the weekly magazines. But why? That was not in the magazines. I see. That night after Juan called off the wedding, that manager, Celeste, killed herself. How terrible. I wonder what happened between those two. Don't know, but it wasn't good. And his pictures, well, somebody would be surprised. Never mind, ignore that. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. Looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. It doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here. Well, he's out there with that camera asking around at the electronic stores. Then I'll make some salad for him for dinner. Looks like Pearls really appreciates what Gumshoe is doing for us. Mr. Nick? Huh? Where's the lettuce? I don't think I've ever bought lettuce before. I guess I have to give up on making a salad then. Guess the lack of lettuce is kind of a problem. Sorry, Pearls. Visiting hours ended a few hours ago. Looks like we are not going to get a chance to talk to Mr. OnGuard tonight. But isn't what we have to ask very important? Yeah, but I don't think that matters to the guard. Mr. Guard! Mr. Guard! Please? Please, Mr. Guard? Visiting hours ended hours ago. What's What's he watching? Maybe he did something bad and he's standing there as punishment. I don't think that's it. Okay. Bye. Feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick? I wonder if something happened. You're Mr. On-Guard's lawyer, right? Yes, sir? Oh, well, we finally found just the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness. A decisive witness? For the On-Guard case? We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now? Who's the witness? I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Nick? Between the kidnapper's demands and now this, I don't see any way to win here. Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. He did? Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center, he wanted me to grant you special permission. So there you go. Special permission. What? I've already called them so they know. Go on, talk to your heart's content. Thanks. A lot. This is such good news, Mr. Nick. Go talk to your heart's content, huh? Sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. Well, let's not comment. Like, ideally, they're not trying to win, they're trying to get the right verdict. Sure, they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means that both Mrs. On-Guard, or Mr. On-Guard and Miss Andrews are here. Whose story do I want to hear? Since we're here, sure, Miss Andrews. Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour, but there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was Matt. I'm sure she knows something. She can't be that clueless about the secret Mr. Corita had over Mr. On-Guard. So, I would like to ask you about Matt On-Guard, if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean. You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. On-Guard. If that's the case, then why'd you become his manager? And why be intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. Okay. And Miss Celeste? I had finally put her death behind me. And now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. Sorry. I was shocked by her suicide. And it's true that when I heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back, and burn it. You wanted to burn it? Why? I didn't want it to spread like just another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent toward Juan. I would never do something so stupid. Suicide note, eh? I wonder what it said. So why did you try to frame Mr. On-Guard? That's simple. Because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? There had to be another way. The police are excellent at doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right? Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. Miss Andrews. Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason. So, please, tell me why you did what you did. Revenge. Huh? Did you say something? Oh yay, more maggot hammer. Slag locker. Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy. But I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say revenge. Okay, so that's a maggot hammer thing. Do we get a statement so I can see what I'm looking for? Because we've picked up a fair amount of stuff. Probably don't have it. Can you tell me why you framed Mr. Ongard? I've already told you countless times it's because I thought he was the killer. I know you have a personal reason. Miss Andrews, I think... You may think I don't want to hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So you're saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. Something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Well, logically it'd be Celeste, right? You believe he was involved in her death. Celeste? There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings and even revenge. And that's Mrs. Impact's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right, you haven't mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. Ongard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impact's and her suicide. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Max? Was there another picture card? I don't know. That feels like a lot. Because then that's also saying that that wasn't a suicide and was in fact Moira. But I don't think we have it yet. At least nothing that feels obvious in my mind. We'll be back. Oh. Somebody's here now. Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Mr. Powers. What happened? Why are you here? You see I got roped into this somehow. What? And now I'm gonna testify at tomorrow's trial. So this witness is Mr. Powers. I was talking with a detective until a little while ago and now I was on my way home. But all of a sudden, you there, you're under arrest, and I was brought back here. I said my face and whole self in general look suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked weird. I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? They arrested a wiggle. So about this testimony you're giving, what are you gonna talk about? I really don't know yet. But it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. What? The detective told me not to talk about it. You can't tell anyone, and especially not that lawyer, he said. What do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about? I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it. Mr. Nick? Mystic Maya and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's alright. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? Poor right. This is gonna do a lot of damage to Matt, you know. Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. He would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to justify himself. What? How horrible. It's unforgivable. Sorry, didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him? His manager, you know? Miss Adrian Andrews. Why is Mr. Power suddenly looking kind of energetic? You see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? A dazzling sort of image? But aren't you a part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh hey, so did you hear about this yet? Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide? You mean Miss Impax? You heard something about her, how her wedding was cancelled? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day. That mysterious death. Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Go on. Mr. Power just charged up, he's practically glowing. You could've just told me in your sentence, but sure. So, have you heard this? Celeste left a suicide note. And they say Juan wouldn't hit it. We heard about that. But there wasn't any actual proof. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is. Something bad for Mr. Corrida? Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends. And she said, it looked like I got caught up with a truly insidious man. Truly insidious man. Did she mean Mr. Corrida? Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be reason enough for him to hide the suicide note. I see. Well, that's some good info, thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Ongard and Miss Andrews are both at the detention center right now. There are still things I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything. Okay. Well, thanks, Mr. Powers. I guess I'm just gonna have to go back to the detention center now. Ongard. Dude, it's Mr. Wright. Hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you. I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me by saying, well, that Juan Corrida was killed by an assassin, and that this assassin's client is this man, Matt Ongard. What's wrong, Mr. Ongard? There's something I must know with 100% certainty. You seem kinda different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self. About the press conference? You mean the one where Juan is gonna dress up as the Nickel Samurai? Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career. Could you please fill me in on what the secret is, please? That's a lot of locks. I knew that was coming. Mr. Nick, don't tell me. Cyclops. You said a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what it is. Do you, dude? Juan and Adrian? Did you know about Mr. Corrida and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it was all over the tabloids, dude. But I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I gotta tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Corrida. Her mentor was Mr. Corrida's manager. And Miss Andrews is going to get Celeste Impax's suicide note from him. Celeste. Does that jog any memories? Dude, I suddenly got totally hungry. Up for a pizza? My treat. Mr. Nick, what is a pizza? Is it kind of pea, like green peas? Let's have one later, okay? I got cut off by the pizza dude, man. That's too bad. Well, how about we get our minds off of this topic and talk about something else, okay? Mr. Ongard, are you connected to Miss Impax's suicide? I don't think I have it. But I can try. The secret. Now let's hear what the secret of yours is. What if Mr. Corrida had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can't keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on, I was in the middle of a nap. Oh my. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Corrida, especially on that night. Not seeing it. Now I'll be back. This time the law offices. Mr. Nick, your phone. I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. Sounds kinda ominous. It's probably just your imagination. You should really pick it up though, Mr. Nick. It could be important. Hello? Got a big problem, pal. What's wrong? I'm on my way to your office right now. Okay. Hey, wait a sec. Why is he coming here? It's terrible. I don't know what to say, pal. It's the end. I say I'm gonna... Calling as he got here. He got here faster than I thought. Hi. No time to relax now, pal. I'm confused as anything here. Well, what happened? We got him. You know who bought that spy camera? Eh? This quickly? And his bear, so I gave him away, pal. The bear. I figured it out, pal. I figured that we should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera. Wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth the Shh. And go on. There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime. Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room? Matt on guard. Eh? On guard, your client, that's who, pal. And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Alright, so what you got? Are you sure you heard right? That the person who bought this bear heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. It's for $3,800, pal. That's an exact match up to the price on that stuffed bear. A receipt. That's all you have? Nah, it's not just a receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He told me, I'm sure I sold the bear to Mr. Ongard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. Ongard's autograph out of it, pal. I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. Ongard himself. My sight's failing. This cannot be. But we know that we know shit's up, Phoenix, come on. The killer wants him acquitted. So, the spy camera? Ah, that was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you and file away into evidence. Sure. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I never didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan's room was mad. Why would Mr. Ongard do something like that? I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Miss Corrida at one of their rendezvous. I bet it's not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you gonna see him? Mr. Ongard, I mean? Yes. I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we'll find out next. I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for pearls. Okay. We now have more things to present. Which is probably what we need to use to push Matt. Alright. Well, just because. Okay. You're working really late. It's already past 10, dude. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax, don't you know that ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk. That's low-key threatening. Let's go. Hammer. Let's hear this secret of yours. spy camera, I guess. Someone used this camera to secretly film Mr. Koreeda's room the night of the murder. Secretly film? What? And then sent the images the camera took with this transmitter. Wow, but dude, where was this camera you're talking about hidden? In the big-ass bear. The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. I guess one had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh? Dude. Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. Nah, man, you never know. People have their whales. And some of those whales don't realize they're whales. And it is sad. Huh, you sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave the bear was... you, Mr. Matungard. Mr. On Guard, don't you know this bear from somewhere? I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, dude. Ah, but he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend? What else did the bear tell you? He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. On Guard. If I didn't know how you work in court, I think I was in some serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first? The proof it was you who put the camera in the bear. Oh, a receipt. I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. On Guard. It's from when you bought that stuffed bear. Dude, all you can tell from this is that I spent 3,800 bucks. I go to the department store all the time, okay? This could be the toothbrush I bought that one time. A $3,800 toothbrush? It's ivory and like got elephant hair bristles. Ugh, elephant hair? Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not? Dude, you should have said that earlier. So can I ask you one thing? Yeah? You're my lawyer, right, man? So, if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. Sounds more like stupid lawyer talk. Hey, man, let's stop talking about this, right? Not yet. Haven't asked you why you set the camera up yet. And what your secret is. Of course, it would be strictly confidential. So, what are you gonna do now? I'm gonna find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Koreeda's room and filmed it in secret is... Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. I bumped my mic in a way that requires me to fix it. I apologize. There we go. What's this card? Maybe he doesn't know about the card. This is a certain man's calling card. The man's name is Shelly the Killer. And I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelly the Killer? That's ridiculous! Why would I know some shady scumbag like him? If you don't know him, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm starting to get to the truth. Because I can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Mr. Mad On Guard, I know why you know Mr. the Killer. It is because you're a hero of justice. You're his client. Since you're the one who set up the camera, that means you knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So, how? How would you know something like that? It's because you are his client. That's why. You hired Shelly to assassinate Mr. Juan Koreeda. The real mastermind the whole murder is... you, Mad On Guard. And here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought anyway. Mr. OnGuard, you really did? Hold on a sec, I'm gonna consult myself. Consult myself? I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude. Him being... How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I am Matt OnGuard. I've found this glass. So is this some sort of a split personality? Or is he just crazy? Just crazy, right? But it might explain why there were no Cyclops earlier. Because it was the other him that did it. What's your secret? Well done, Mr. Wright. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. You really? So you're showing the killer's client? You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you? What do you mean? And that woman, Adrian, was quite brave herself. Trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that one is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? You're lying. What a terrible... It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on and let us grown-ups talk some more adult things. Why? Why'd you hide the video camera and... A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me? How much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? And that's why... Yes, that's where the video comes in. Which got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want. That's right, that video's my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Because I'm a grown-up and I can. Good enough of an answer for you, little girl. Right. So, like, you heard all of this, right, Guard? Why would you kill Mr. Corita? Because he was about to sling so much dung onto my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? If Mr. Corita had been able to give it, then Mr. OnGuard's secret would have... Huh, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it really, but bit by bit it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Corita ended up dead. Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet, innocent face, and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it. The assassin, too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone all working their butts off for me, Matt OnGuard. Huh? Did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you'd killed one Corita, and you answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Hey now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was that killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a cat nap in my room. You killed Mr. Corita. I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Ah, but too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Oh, but you can't, can you? That would be the one thing you absolutely can't do. Stigmaya. You wouldn't want to test the killer. He's a man of his word, so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. Scoundrel. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it my all tomorrow. Mother, dude's dropping an Esquire. What? Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliché phrase. One said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course. Well, we all know how things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. What am I supposed to do? And now you've finally found it. The starting line of this case. Edgeworth. I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. Well, right. What are you going to do? If you plan on changing your strategy. No. We can't do that. That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. What should I do? That's not something I can answer for you. Mr. Edgeworth. Right, only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. And that's why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, right, it's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own. I'm a lawyer. But to fight for someone who is clearly a killer. Matt on guard. That man is really... It doesn't matter who. Every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? And what exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you of all people would say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you fought for your clients up until now? Well, maybe, but that's because I've believed in them. I believe them to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get on guard and acquittal, that's not a proper defense at all. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right, would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes, we're only human. You and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? You're a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. But why fight? People like you and Franziska von Karmar are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Franziska, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's it. And isn't that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran off a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You're so petty. I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. A total misunderstanding because Wright's a dumbass, right? However, you are mistaken. What do you... Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. What? I don't believe you. Are you saying that's why you left the office? But then, why are you here now? The answer to that is something you'll find out on your own. I have faith you'll see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story. Mr. Nick, the transceiver. I am sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? My. What is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please. Why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. OnGuard's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me, a man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you were asking me for a reason as to why I am doing what I am. This is what I like to call my aftercare. The heck is aftercare? Oh, Phoenix. My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations, and it is a part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty. We were unlucky this time, and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney. And to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What's your name? I believe I told you once before. However, you did, but my name is the Killer. Shelley the Killer. You're Shelley the Killer? Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain, Maya, it would be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice, long nap. No. And now then, if you'll excuse me. If someone were to trace this signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. Stick my, cat. I don't know what to say. Edgeworth? Did you hear that? At the end of that transmission? Huh? Oh, that. That sounded like a cat. A cat? It can't be that cat, can it? What is it? I think I know where Shelley the Killer is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all police units head for OnGuard Mansion immediately. Alright, you hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight's only just begun. Yeah. Hotel lobby. Hold on. There we go. The bear moved. Maya. Please answer us, Mystic Maya. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. Assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. He and OnGuard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. The bear. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. Oh, he's made of wood. A bear. Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Corita? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here. I'm sure that's for Shu. Do you think that this came through that little door? This door, it's locked. Well, I'm pretty used to breaking doors down by now. Let's go, Edgeworth. Brute force. No one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is OnGuard's private lounge. Look at this, right? An antenna for sending and receiving video signals. Check inside the desk. If there's a tape, it'd be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, It'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty and there is none to be found. No. But there's no mistake that someone used this to record something. It looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. Well, shit. Lion seller. We've searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. It looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking to you to be her pillar. You're right. We're close, I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. Picture. This looks like a picture of Miss Impax. With love, Celeste. Miss Impax, you mean? Yeah, Mr. Corrida's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Impax be here in Mr. Onguard's mansion? And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. They had an affair. Ah. What's wrong, Pearls? Please let me see that picture frame. What's so special about the frame? On the back, there's something written there. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message. What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's gotta watch out for the helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. No. Mystic Maya. Right. What's wrong? Why'd the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth? Yes? As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm gonna get. But I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? Miss Andrews' Cyclock. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance to blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. Time to open that last lock. Detention center. Good evening, Mr. Wright. You look ill. Miss Andrews, I've come to remove your Cyclock. What? I want to know, and you will tell me, your secret. Fine, go ahead. Try to break me if you can. But why, though? Something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. It's Celeste, Part 1. Who's over here? The relation. This picture. This is a photo of Miss Impax, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. With love, Celeste. This is her handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. Onguard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Celeste. She was supposed to get married to Juan. Yeah, but I heard that it didn't work out. Because Mr. Corita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt. Because of Mr. Ongard? What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste. She was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why, with love, Celeste is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used, toyed with until she was thrown away. It's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste in her kindness moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that's where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. Revenge for Celeste and for myself. Revenge. I'm sure even you can guess as to why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see. So that's what happened. But then why did Mr. Corita have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. And Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Poor Miss Impax. That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left the suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds. And so that she would never again be hurt by him, she chose to die. Then, when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note. Not a great plan. But why would he do that? It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt. And it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge. There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I'd even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find it. And that's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring to them my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. So when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. I can't sleep either. Not with my situation or with what I know now. To be continued. On to the trial, eh? I have a feeling that it's gonna be a long one. I might be wrong, though. Hey. Either way. You